Hi and welcome back to Classic MGB. Now, I've owned my MGB-GT for a few years now and have loved every minute. But I'm going to do something that most MGB owners shy away from. I'm going to go through exactly how much my car has cost me. When I bought the car, I knew it would need some fettling, but the actual cost of running the car has been quite a shock. I've ignored fuel, insurance and service items like engine oil and filters, so let's get into what my lovely GT has actually cost me. One thing I changed almost as soon as I got the car was the seats. The originals were a little soft and lacking in support, and also had limited head restraints, so I splashed out on a couple of sports seats from MGOC Spares at £1,495. When I got the car, I got it checked over by an MG specialist, the MG Workshop in Bristol. They found several faults and replaced multiple parts, including the clutch, engine oil seals, front wheel bearings and stub axles. They also rebuilt the carburetors. This work, including the parts, came to a grand total of £2,000. I do wonder whether all this work was necessary, but as a complete novice, I had to trust the experts. The car was using quite a lot of oil, so I went back to them for the valves and oil seals to be replaced, and for the head to be decoked. The oil catch tank was also removed and the breathing system was overhauled. Another £791. Sadly, this didn't cure the problem, so I thought about replacing the engine. Having had no reply from the previous garage, I contacted a local classic car specialist, Dillybrook Classic Cars, who stripped the engine and sent it to MGB engine specialist Skiptune, based in Bagshot, where the bores were deglazed and the engine was rebuilt at a total cost of £1,670. K&N air filters were recommended, replacing the cheap aftermarket foam filters, and these were fitted at a cost of £115, and a rolling road tune-up was recommended. This was carried out by an excellent local garage, NE Motors, who changed the needles and did the tune-up, which worked really well. After the rebuild, the car was running hot, so the radiator core was upgraded and a thermostatic Revitec electric fan was installed, complete with override switch. This cured the problem, but it cost a heady £935. Not long after this, a pool of fluid appeared in the driver's footwell, resulting in both the slave and master cylinders for the clutch being replaced. Another £200. Not long after this, after an MG's on track day at Donington Park, I noticed the voltage was dropping. A quick check diagnosed a failed alternator, which I replaced myself at a cost of £66 for the part. I guess the track day must have put additional strain on the passenger seat belt as well, which failed soon after and was replaced by me at a cost of £67. Around this time, I also noticed there was uneven wear on the front tyres, so had the tracking laser checked and adjusted by a company specialising in classic cars at a cost of £73. The front tyres were also fairly worn, so I replaced both of those at a cost of £158. All was well for a while until the Triumph and MG Day at Silverstone in 2023. On the way home, luckily just half a mile from home, the clutch failed completely. I was able to limp home though in gear. I was booked for another track day a week later, but luckily local specialist Dillybrook Classic Cars saved the day. They recovered the car and fitted a new clutch in double quick time, which, as most MGB owners know, requires the engine to be removed. Quite why the clutch failed so quickly after just over a year's use and less than 5,000 miles, I'm not sure, but looking at the removed clutch release bearing, or what was left of it, suggested that maybe it was a faulty part. However, the clutch was replaced, the cost £1,300. I made the track day at Castlecombe. The track day exposed some ignition issues, which were solved by Tim from Cambrian Classics, who replaced the HT leads and plugs at a total cost of £40. Take a look at our Castlecombe track day video for more on this. There's a link in the description. Soon after this, occasionally on turning the key there was just a click and the starter motor failed to spin, so this was replaced at a total cost of £155. I could have replaced this myself, I guess, but without a ramp it's a fiddly job and Dillybrook have a very competitive labour rate. The most recent job was to replace the front brake discs and pads, which was needed as they'd become warped. Judging by the state of the pads, this wasn't a moment too soon. I have decided to try and do some of the simpler jobs on the car myself, so carry this out with the help of my good friend Simon. The discs and pads were bought from MGOC Spares at a total cost of £120. Other items bought over the years include wiper arms at £30, a new door mirror at £27, tailboard gas strut kit at £40, and a CarPlay stereo from Amazon at £80. One final weakness was searching for a steering wheel I really got on with. The car came with a standard mount knee wheel, which was okay, but being used to a modern car, I wanted a thicker wheel, having bought one or two at various shows without being really comfortable with any of them. I finally bit the bullet and bought a Motorlita. Now, I thought that Motorlita was an Italian company, so I was surprised when I discovered that they're based in Andover in the UK. Needless to say, I'm really happy with it, although it was reassuringly expensive. The motto, buy cheap, buy twice, springs to mind, and in all fairness, I've probably spent as much on the wheels that I didn't get as I'd have with the Motorlita. So that's it. A couple of years since buying the car and 10,000 miles later with a few track days under my belt, it's cost me the best part of £10,000 on top of the price of the car, which was $13,995. Makes a grand total of around £24,000. Far too much for an MGB-GT really, but to misquote a popular saying, the fun is remembered long after the price is forgotten. That said, I'm hoping that no major work will be required in the near future, and that I'll get through the summer without spending out too much more. I do have this vision that several prospective MGB owners will have watched this and decided against what can be an expensive hobby. To those people, all I can say that it really doesn't need to cost this much, especially if you do most of the work yourself, so please don't be put off too much. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you'd give it a like, share it with anybody that could be interested, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you click on the bell, you'll be notified when we upload a new video. So that's it. As always, thanks for watching and take care.